My name is Will Gerhart. This video is intended for a very specific audience, but it might be distributed publicly in the future if necessary. I've been wondering, does Deborah Norden hate Whittier College? So I've been thinking about it. So Dr. Deborah Norden, as if she knows what she's talking about, feeds on the shame and humiliation of students. She was way out of line, even violating federal higher education laws by verbally harassing students, and her writing constitutes full-blown abuse of us. I was humiliated, singled out, and gaslit by her when I was struggling. She takes more action to make students' lives harder and full of roadblocks, and has a very limited record of reaching out to students or making herself accessible at all. Don't even get me started about the concept of being welcoming. I started standing up for myself when she began targeting me specifically. I spoke to the vice president of the school. I spoke to the director of faculty affairs. I spoke to the chair of the department. I spoke to the Title IX coordinator. And while some of them believed me and took minute actions to attempt to begin to address the situation, I have repeatedly communicated that it's a systemic issue which happens in all the classes that she teaches. Other students are talking amongst themselves, and even now to employees of the college. Deborah has an awful reputation here. She tears the school apart from the inside out. And what's even more concerning is she's gonna be faculty chair next year. So the example of literally what not to be is going to be in charge of professors. What the fuck? She's literally a criminal for her violations of the Higher Education Act and other applicable regulations. She needs to be locked up before she makes anyone else want to kill themselves. She drove me to the verge of suicide 4 times. I told her she needed to stop communicating to me and that shaming students publicly is violating an inhumane, let alone unprofessional and completely inappropriate. But she did that when I wasn't even in class to receive that shame because I was sobbing in my car. She immediately responded with rebuttals to my main points in a futile attempt to save face, instead of respecting what I explicitly said I needed. She lashed out and fought and resisted against me as if I was some war criminal. She blamed me for everything. She was uninterested in teaching, just in exuding power and control over fragile and sometimes broken young students. This event ruined my life. And while the college has listened a bit and done some things about it, this has been mostly brushed under the rug. The school violated federal law too, by not following their own policy. I filed a bias report against her and at the recommendation of numerous employees, which was quickly found to be frivolous and was dismissed. It was not even announced publicly to the college that an incident had been reported with Deborah, despite the bias report policy clearly stating that every incident will be communicated with the entire community. This report was filed on February 4th, 2022. The next person I was sent to listened to my complaints and basically said he heard a lot of similar comments from other students. So my concern would be, why hasn't he done anything about it? You just listen to students whistleblow about faculty misconduct and then ignore it. Not to mention, the chair of the department was not even told that a report was filed against one of the lower professors in that department. He was never told. It appears from my perspective to be a system built to silence victims. These processes are completely ineffective and perpetuate victim blaming in a way that suppresses the lived experience of students who are targeted. They need to change immediately. Deborah basically called me crazy and wanted to get me locked up and in an asylum. I was actually kicked off campus for a month in March and sent home to relax and focus more. I never asked for that, and it made my life so much worse. I think she needs to go and think about what she did and how to become a better person. It takes time to improve and grow. Whether or not she thinks she needs it, she needs a break, possibly even a permanent one. After I filed my bias report, Deborah filed a grievance against me in retaliation. I was not told until mid-April, when I was allowed back on campus. I was instructed not to talk to her or interact with her. Again, everyone's acting like this was my fault. It wasn't my fault. It was Deborah's fault. Other students come to me for support because they're not even comfortable reporting her to anyone. We're all scared of her. She's terrifying. She's a monster. She just doesn't care about us at all. She treats us like pawns to be played with and manipulated, and like we're subjects of some imperialist ruler. She needs serious help. Her insecurities have ruined a generation of students at this school, and it has gone on for decades. This needs to stop. She seems incapable of controlling her emotions and stopping herself from committing such crimes. So the school must take action to demonstrate its support for students. Continued failure to act ethically and with dignity to create a positive environment will not be tolerated. And please note that any and all actions necessary will be taken to ensure the wellness of the student body. I'm so fucking tired of waiting. I'm not waiting any longer. So does Deborah Norden hate Whittier College? I sure think so. Just take a look at the evidence. She likes to control and micromanage, to pry and to deceive. She is, frankly, an excuse of a professor and an embarrassment to this institution. She is almost worse than all the nepotism. Well, that's it for now. See you next time.